So the latest news from the Philippines, the Department of Tourism proposes a green lane for vaccinated foreigners. This was on the 22nd of May 2021, so very, very recently. And it shows that the Philippines are definitely looking at trying to get foreign tourists back into the country as soon as possible. Now, what it says is the Department of Tourism has recommended the lifting of restrictions for inbound foreign nationals by putting up a green lane for tourists who have completed their vaccine doses. So at this stage, this is just a recommendation, so let's not get too excited, but it does show promising signs for what may lay ahead, hopefully this year. In the proposal, it's submitted to the Interagency Task Force for Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases. The Department of Tourism said the creation of a green lane can allow immunised foreigners to travel to the Philippines without the need to undergo the required quarantine. The presidential spokesman said the government is already formulating the protocols after the IATF created a small working group headed by the Department of Tourism and Department of Foreign Affairs to examine how the green lane can be put into place. Working alongside the DOT and DFA are 7 other agencies, including bureaus of quarantine and immigration. So it says just down here, basically, that they're looking to find out how other countries, mostly in Europe, have opened their borders to vaccinated tourists. So to get some ideas how the Philippines can reopen to international travel. The Tourism Secretary said that placing a green lane in airports would allow the country to reopen its tourist attractions to the benefit of struggling hotels and resorts, as well as tour guides, operators, and service providers. And this has been a big worry for many people in the Philippines through COVID. All these people have lost their jobs to do with tourism. And because of that, there's literally millions more people starving or doing it very tough in the Philippines right now. And as I've said in previous videos around this, the government is very aware and they're trying to find ways to open these industries again as soon as possible. The green lane will give jobs back to many of our tourism workers and gradually revive the tourism industry under safe conditions. About 4.8 million of the 5 million workers in tourism were displaced by the pandemic as movement restrictions enforced by the government weakened the demand for travel activities. Puyat said the Philippines needs to keep up with its tourism competitors in their move to lift border restrictions and allow entry of vaccinated foreigners. At present, the country prohibits foreign nationals on leisure purposes for travel to the country. We must keep pace with our neighbours and the rest of the world in slowly reopening our tourist destinations. We must be ready for visitors when the whole world is ready to safely travel again. So guys, this is all in the works. It's something they're working on to try and achieve for the Philippines to reopen. And again, I've said it for the last 6, 7, 8 months that they'll be eyeing off resuming international air travel, I believe, before Christmas of this year, because that's the boom time for the Philippines, as it is for many countries, but especially the Philippines. And that would be a massive kickstart to their tourism industry and economy moving forward. But again, I stress this has not been passed through their government. It's merely that they're looking into how to do it. They've got a task force set up and they're going to be looking at different ways which they can then present to the government on the possibilities of making this happen. So to me, it's another very, very bright sign that they're trying to move forward, and we can certainly see a light at the end of the tunnel for getting back into the Philippines. So for all you guys out there who have been dying to get back to the Philippines, either to do some tourism or to be with your girlfriends or wives, as I know many of you have been telling me, then take heart by this, because they're certainly still looking at it and they're not forgetting about it. I did a video just a couple of weeks ago where we were talking about other possibilities of reopening the Philippines and what they're doing. And then I did another one prior to that. So the talk is not going away. And this is actually the government saying, let's have a look at this and how we can make it happen. So be sure to hang tight, guys, because I do believe it's coming. But as we say, it will be for foreigners who have only had the vaccination. If you're a person that doesn't believe in getting vaccinated, then you're not going to be able to go to the Philippines. It's pretty simple. Some might call that discrimination or whatever. I don't know. but that's the way it's going to be moving forward in many countries around the world. And the Philippines have always indicated that you will need to be vaccinated to go into their country once they first reopen. In a few years from now, that may change. But for now, that's certainly how it looks like it's going to be in the Philippines when they get through how to reopen again to foreign tourists. So fingers crossed, guys, I think it is coming. And this is certainly some very positive news. So stay strong, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.